So we have something that's a little bit different for you today. Last month I got the opportunity to go down to Saddleback and film them building probably the most premium wheel combination, wheel set that you can get on the market today. They were building a Enve 4.5 SES on a King R45 Hub. Now the hub itself was midnight blue, and it's this matte midnight blue, and it absolutely looks amazing. So we joined the guys, Wayne and Joe, down at Saddleback, and Saddleback actually build the majority of the Enve wheels that come into the UK, and the whole thing's done by hand, and we're going to take you through the entire process so that you can actually realize how much love, care and attention goes into actually building these wheels. So check it out and let us know what you think. Here we go, guys. Probably the dream Enve wheel build video that you didn't really know that you wanted.
I'm Joe, and today we're going to be building a 4.5 on some King hubs, the R45s, which are the matte midnight as well. And yeah, we're going to go through every single part of it, and it's going to be good. I've got one ready to go as well. This is the front. Usually just give it a nice little inspection, check everything's nice with it. And yeah, looks all good. Yeah, we're just going to line up the logo, get it all nice. And yeah, just start off with this one in there. Just nice. Hopefully we'll get the logo nice and lined up with the valve hole. And to me that looks pretty good. Just going to start on the threads. Yeah, basically you just want to get to a point where it's just where the threads are hidden in the rim. Just they're all nice and uniform when they go around the whole wheel. Be nice.
I'm just going to jump in here and say that obviously Joe is building a disc brake wheel. Enve themselves are actually moving away from producing any more rim brakes. This particular set of wheels is going to cost you kind of over £3,000 to £3,000 and a bit or $1,000. So it's a very expensive wheel setup for anybody. Joe did tell me that at this point one of their main concerns was just making sure that they don't over tension any of the spokes when they're initially threading the wheel. Gives them a bit more room to play with later when they're trying to get the hub in the exact right position so that it rolls true and smooth. Some companies do use machines to lace up their wheels, but for me I just love the artistry and the attention to detail that goes into building these by hand.
There you go, that's one side done. They're laced up exactly the same, and lucky enough for this one as well, they're actually the same length spokes as well. So I don't have to worry about mixing any up, which is good. And then literally, yeah, just mirroring exactly what I've just done.
For me, it's just really cool to see how pliable and supple the spokes are before they put any tension through them. So what Joe's doing here is called double cross lacing. Each spoke that goes into the hub crosses over two other spokes. And what this actually does is make it a lot stronger, because you have to remember that your spokes are responsible for the braking force from the disc to the wheel. It's cool to watch Joe work, and you can already see just how much care they put into building these wheels.
Definitely haven't missed a single one, so don't know where that one came from. Nice. Lucky enough, King hubs always tend to line up really, really well. We've got so much choice to move the spoke hole over, and it doesn't matter where you start. We're literally just doing the exact same lacing pattern as we did before until I get to the other side. And that's that side done. And then I'll just flip over to the other side. And then this side, we actually do the opposite. So instead of going up, we go down now. But once I put, say, 4 whole turns, you'll notice the difference really quick. Like there's quite a lot of play here, but just enough, like a nice amount, because we've got the spoke lengths dialed in pretty much perfectly. So just double checking all the shoulders are nicely set, and yeah, so that's the rear done as well.
So this is Wayne. He's going to put tension in the spokes and then align the wheel and the hub.
And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put maybe four turns into every spoke, just to get some tension in it. And And I'm starting at the valve hole so I don't lose myself.
Just a bit of background info. Wayne is a national age group TT champion, and I think he said to me that he's only a few seconds off going under 20 minutes for 10 miles, which is just insane.
And that's all gone all the way round back to the valve hole. So they put 4 turns into every spoke. And then feeling that, to start working on the wheel, I think I need another maybe 2 turns into that. Settling it into the nipple bed and maybe the hub flanges.
So although we've added some tension to each spoke in the wheel, we're nowhere near ready to ride. Next thing we've got to do is put it into a pressure machine. This way, it just adds all the pressure into the hub so that if anything does move or you were to be cycling along and something just nestles in a little bit, it's not going to change the tension on the spoke because we've already stressed it.
Flick it over. 110 kilograms of force going through there, settling the spokes into the hub flanges and the nipple beds. Now at this stage, what we're going to do now is balance. We're going to start balancing it by getting even tension in every spoke on the drive side, and then we'll flick it over. If it's different, it'll be different over 2 spokes. So one will be more and one will be less. So like this one needs a little bit, and this one needs a bit taken out. We'll just put a little bit into that one and take off of that one.
Now at this point, I'm going to be honest with you, this is when things start going over my head. Up until now, I kind of understood what was going on, but this is when you really see the artistry that goes into tensioning and building a wheel. It's not just putting some spokes into a hub and attaching it to the wheel, there's so much more that goes into it. And I definitely get the impression that the years of experience that these guys have really help when it comes to just deciding whether it's a quarter turn or a half turn.
And have a look at the non-drive.
So you can already see just how long this whole process takes.
Right, that's balanced now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check, see if it needs pulling over one way or the other with the dishing tool. He's out of dish, so I'm going to pull him over to the non-drive side. As you can see, he's not very true. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start truing it up.
So then they start worrying about getting the wheel to run true, which I think in layman terms means that they're just trying to make sure that the wheel doesn't wobble.
Now that's pretty good. We're going to check the hop on it. Now I use a gauge. Some people use their eye with the jig. I put a gauge on it.
Just keep your eye on the needle and see how far it moves out to the right.
It's showing now, the hop will be showing now on the gauge. It's moving and move too much. Yeah. So we'd like that to be between 0 and 10 max. So yeah, there's a little hop in it. That hop then is over a distance of 8 spokes. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of tension into those 8 spokes, and hopefully that'll pull that out. It's down to 6 spokes now. So we'll take a tiny bit out of there.
The level of detail at this stage is getting kind of crazy. You can see it's a half turn or a quarter turn to add or remove some tension.
That's pretty good. If you put that on the gauge by eye, you'll see that that's nearly round, that's perfect.
It takes a few more rounds of adding and removing tension from spokes with a little bit of trial and error before we can get Wayne to finally admit that he's happy with his build.
Check him again for dish. Should be a finished well. still going to nick 2 spokes over because that's quite a big one, but it's just minute.
So this is what happens when you buy an Enve wheel. These mechanics go to painstaking lengths to make sure that you get the best product available. And because it's wheel building, I made sure Wayne gave us a victory spin. Thanks for sticking around, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.